try this again. I don't know why Streamlabs just bit the dust right there for a second. Don't know what happened. Let me rewind for the sake of my editing later. What's up? Hello. Welcome back. But, yeah, so we're going to talk about the shooting, the Texas shooting that had happened. We were getting somewhere. I was saying that gun control is never the answer in this situation. Criminals are always going to get their hands on to guns. You can say, hey, nobody's allowed to have a gun anymore. And guess what? People are still going to get their hands on guns. And that is because the swamp runs deep just within that. Like, in everything within them illegally selling guns and doing all this kind of stuff, like, you're always going to end up having people who have guns, and it's in the wrong hands, okay? So, gun control, not the answer. We'll get into it a little bit more. With this shooting, that's straight up mental illness. That's the only answer to this, is that, unfortunately, an 18-year-old kid walks into an elementary school and just starts shooting up the place, just like I think minutes earlier he had just killed his grandmother. Don't really know why. So what we know so far from the shooting, there's 21 people that died, 19 children and 2 adults. Originally it was 17, then 18, then 19 kids. I thought it was 18 kids and 3 adults. But I don't know. The shooter is dead. Law enforcement did kill him. R.I.P. But he basically barricaded himself inside of this elementary school for like an hour for absolutely no reason. I don't even want to say the shooter's name because he does not deserve recognition. Jack said Border Patrol killed him. And yes, that is true, because what we do need to be talking about is the Border Patrol agent that rushed in there and quite literally saved the day, almost. I posted this because my friend Chandler had said, why is no one discussing that a hero Border Patrol agent rushed into the Texas school without backup in order to neutralize the shooter? And that's because it doesn't go along with the anti-gun narrative. Very true. They aren't releasing the name of the Border Patrol agent. They haven't said a single thing. I haven't seen anything other than that post on social media about it. And that's sick. We should be giving all of the notoriety to the Border Patrol agent who shut the whole thing down. The pictures that are circulating around about the kid standing in front of the bi flag or the trans flag or whatever it is, those are not him. Those were debunked. Those are some random person. They went on Reddit and they were like, yo, these are my pictures. It's not me. I did not do that. So I don't know where those necessarily came from and why they're circulating around. He does look like the person in the pictures. But that's a rumor. Not pro-trans. And hypothetically speaking, if it was, the media probably wouldn't talk about it. So... oh, wow. Okay, so his grandmother survived. He attacked her and shot her in the face, but she survived. And after shooting her, he returned to Facebook to send a message confirming what he did. He then posted in the chat that he was targeting an elementary school next, but he didn't mention the elementary school specifically. He took off in his grandmother's car, later crashing it not far from the elementary school. He approached the school, encountered a school resource officer, and then entered through the back door. What was this school resources officer doing? What was he doing? Why wasn't he paying attention? What are you going to do when you see an 18-year-old sketchy kid approaching an elementary school? He had encountered a school resources officer as he approached the school. Though that officer engaged with the shooter, no gunfire was exchanged at the time. He was able to open a back door on the west side of the school's campus and entered the school, according to one of the heads of the Texas Department of Public Safety. According to the investigation, once he ran inside, he entered a hallway and then a classroom. Once he was inside the classroom, the officers outside the school organized a tactical team. It is unclear the way the resource officer engaged with the shooter. I don't know why he can't come out and say that. If you're literally the school resources officer and you see this guy walking in, why would you not be front page everywhere? This is what happened. This is why I couldn't stop him. Hello. Of those killed, 19 were students in the same 4th grade classroom. That makes me sick. NPR posted this, by the way. A Border Patrol agent shot the gunman. That's what Jack said earlier. After the gunman gained entry into the school, police from various departments gathered to form a tactical unit. A Border Patrol tactical unit responded to the scene, and one of its agents shot and killed the suspect, according to a source with the agency. Yeah, they've ended the school year, and all other events are canceled. There are local hospitals and public responders that are in need. I can't imagine. The hospital treated 15 people, 11 of whom were children, following the shooting. 2 children received by the hospital were dead on arrival. Biden's response was flying flags at half-staff. He addressed the nation on Tuesday, yesterday. But they all politicized it, and that is why I'm going to rewind and talk about how Beto handled the situation, because he did interrupt the governor of Texas today to make a point. And I wish I would have been watching. So this former Congressman Beto O'Rourke interrupted Governor Greg Abbott's news conference in Uvalde on Wednesday, blaming the governor for the elementary school shooting. He said, "This is on you." Quote, "You said this was not predictable. This is totally predictable when you choose not to do anything," he said, blaming Abbott's policies for the shooting at Robb Elementary School that left 19 children to adults dead. This isn't about how many people can have guns. This isn't about that. This is quite literally about who the good guys are that have the guns and who the bad guys are that have the guns. Let's say we have heavy gun control, okay? Border Patrol agents are no longer allowed to have weapons. What would have happened? How many more people would have died? If that Border Patrol agent hadn't run in there and stopped it and shot the shooter, he didn't have a weapon on him, what would have happened? You can't tell me you want all these people to run in here. You want to send social workers in there into a literal shooting situation and be like, okay, well, calm down. Like, we can talk about this. No, he just shot 19 kids, okay? So you bet your butt somebody's going to run in there and start shooting the shooter to get him to stop, because that was the only thing that got him to stop, okay? I said I wasn't going to get heated, but it's my outlet, so we're only allowed to get heated on here. Nick said it's not about the guns, it's about the intent to kill. Exactly. Criminals will kill. Bad people will kill. And that, you cannot stop them from doing that. If they don't have a gun, they'll use something else, okay? I gotta stop saying okay. Abbott responded to Beto by saying the state needs to focus on healing. We need all Texans to, in this moment in time, put aside all personal agendas. This is not a partisan issue. This is not a political issue. This is an unimaginable moment that will impact the lives of those who lost their children and those who survived. Jack also said this is about a broken man coming from this is about broken men coming from broken homes. This isn't just about criminals. This is about men in general, okay? And this might get a little iffy, but dude, men have got to start being men again, because you've got all these and I hate to say it, but you've got all these wimpy loser men who turn out like this because they don't have good father figures. You want to know why they don't have good father figures? Because their fathers didn't raise them correctly. And then their fathers didn't raise them correctly. And it's like a generational thing. But men are getting worse. Men are getting so much worse. And this is the exact situation that is a perfect example of why men need to start being men again, and father figures, and growing up, and claiming maturity, and claiming responsibility, and doing all of these things that they lack, and they will continue to lack if we keep going down this path. Wimpy loser boys. That's what they are. Wimpy loser boys. Look at the picture of the guy. Wimp, loser, child, ridiculous. This isn't about guns. It's literally about men not being men, okay? There's going to be protests, probably downtown Dallas. I'm going to keep an eye out for those. Hear me out. How about we take schools, all schools. My school was like this. I don't understand. I don't know if it's funding. I don't know if it's personal city opinions. I don't know what. But my high school, you cannot get inside. You have to press a button to go through the first door. Then you got to go through the second door. And all of the other doors around the school are locked. You cannot get in. And they've probably made it more technologically advanced since then, because the older high school that I went to, you still had to buzz in order to get inside. And we had IDs, but they didn't scan at the door and we got to go in. I think that's a great idea. I think if we started implementing something like that, which would be more difficult with elementary school kids, I will say, I saw this one time and I really, really liked the idea. Why don't we take retired veterans who don't have jobs to do anymore, and if they are willing, it can be a volunteer job, but it can still be a job. And then boom, it gets the job business booming. Why don't you have people going in, voluntarily being security guards for schools? Because we had the school officers like this who didn't really do anything and engaged in the people walking in, but I don't know. He didn't think he was an elementary school student. You can't tell me an 18-year-old kid looked like an elementary school student. That's why you didn't say anything. No, you quite literally charge at him and take him to the ground. Those people should have guns too. Give the school officers, I'm pretty sure our school officer was an actual police officer. That's the thing. Give these people guns, and then let's say that guy would have had a gun. You could have knocked him out outside before he even got in. I've always said this. Sketchy people look sketchy, okay? And guess what? I would rather be safe than sorry. If somebody looks sketchy to me, if somebody looks a little bit weird, somebody looks like they're pretty sus, I'm going to have my guard up. I don't care. You can call me crazy. You can call me judgmental. That's fine. But I'm seeing a trend here with all of these school shooters, and they're all very similar in the aspect of they didn't have good families. They are weird. They say weird things, and they say a lot of dangerous and violent things, and that should be a red flag. And it's always, well, they said this stuff to us in the past, but we didn't do anything about it. Or even deeper, people do say something about it, and they go and report it, and then nothing happens of it. It's being stereotypical. But don't you think that it is much safer to be stereotypical than have to carry out 19 dead children from a school? Don't you think that being stereotypical in this sense with school shooters and people who threaten violence all the time, don't you think that'd be a better way to go about it? You can say I'm totally, completely wrong. Jack said the Parkland shooter was born in prison. Your environment creates who you are. The people you surround yourself with creates who you are. But the environment that you develop in as a child will carry with you as you become an adult. And when people lack certain things in development when they're younger, that makes them turn into who they are as an adult. Failed families build failed people. Gun control is not the answer here. Because like I said earlier, taking away all the guns from the good people will do absolutely nothing in a situation like this. Let's say I'm in Walmart and I've got my gun on me. And I don't want to hear about what type of gun I have, because at the end of the day, it's a gun. And second of all, I'm going to get a different one. Let's say I'm in Walmart and I'm shopping, looking at the candles, doing this, and I hear pa, pa, pa. Okay, normally you have training for this, and that is in the process, but we've got a store full of a store full of people in Walmart. You've got, let's say, me and this guy have a gun. And then you've got the shooter down the hall who's got the gun. Who is gonna stop the situation? I know dang well it's not going to be the cashier at checkout number 5. I can tell you that, because they don't have anything. So what are we going to do? We're going to run towards the situation. Probably not me. I'm 5'2", and I would be scared. Okay. But let's say Bob over here next to me also concealed carries. He's running straight up to the guy, and he's going to be like, bah, 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 and boom, done. Minimal injuries if they were to make it there in time. Now, same situation. None of us have a gun, except the bad guy. Bad guy got in because bad guy gets gun, right? Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Shoots up the whole entire Walmart, and nobody in there. I'm going to get in trouble for yelling. Oh, my God. I'm going to sound crazy. Nobody in there has a gun to stop it. How many people are going to die as opposed to the first hypothetical situation? Think about it. Think about it. That is exactly the thought process that we need to be having in those situations. It's not about taking away all the guns. It's about putting them in the hands of the right people who are trained and know how to do it and know how to stop situations like this. Because if the teacher had had one, if the police officer outside had had one, things could have gone differently. You will never be able to get a gun away from a bad person. When a bad person has a weapon of any kind, they're going to utilize that in any situation to their advantage. Whether it's a gun, a knife, a freaking pipe, it was Colonel Mustard in the living room with a freaking ballpoint pen, for crying out loud. Like, any bad person with any type of weapon is going to use it regardless of what the little book of laws says. So therefore, you have to conform to different situations when, yes, this is a problem in America. But guess what? There are solutions to that problem in America, and that falls under the same umbrella of protecting different locations with armed security, especially elementary schools. I don't see the problem. I'm sure there's thousands of people willing to go sit outside of an elementary school and protect that from this situation ever happening ever again. Send people to these schools in order to secure them. Build different security checkpoints within the schools. Like I was saying, my high school, you have to buzz in. You have to press the button, talk to the person, be like, blah, 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 and then go in and then like go through like 20 different doors just in order to get into the school, okay? I don't think there needs to be 50 different doors in order to get to a school. You've got the fire exits. You've got the main entrance. And that's enough. I don't care. I just spit. That's how mad I am. Like, honestly, like these situations hurt me. Lock all the doors from 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock when the last kid leaves. Locked. Front entrance for parents only. I don't even care if you have to build metal detectors. Okay? Figure it out. But taking away guns is not the solution. We need to start adapting to these situations. Not by going out into the street and whining and complaining about guns. Okay? That's not going to do anything. A bunch of wimpy people running around in the street being like, oh my God, guns are so bad. No. That's not it. You're not going to do a thing. You're not going to do a thing protesting about it, okay? You can go stand in front of City Hall. You can go stand in front of the Capitol. You can go stand in front of the White House for all I care. That's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything at all. It's heartbreaking. It is. It's sad. And the left is mad. The right is mad. Up, down, right, left, blue, yellow, green. We're all freaking mad, okay? We're all upset. We're all hurt by the situation. But everybody's just pointing the finger at the other side instead of doing something about it. And that's the problem. That's what happens in every situation. We sit here and, some person does something and we're like, well, that's the left's fault. And then somebody over here does something and the right's like, oh, that's the left's fault. The left says that's the right's fault. And nothing ever gets done. So we are going to continue to have these situations. You will not do anything. Going outside, complaining about it, saying we need gun control. They implement gun control. Okay, boom, I can't have my gun anymore to protect myself in the hypothetical Walmart that we were talking about earlier. But guess what? Crazy Bob, we were talking about normal Bob over here, but crazy Bob with the gun in Walmart is gonna go on a freaking rampage because nobody's there to stop him. Cops aren't gonna get there that fast. What's that one line in the song? Order food, call the cops, see what reaches you first. Guess what? Your pizza's gonna get there first. Cops don't always come right away. And that's a whole other issue. Because guess what? They're being defunded because the left is angry about it. I don't want to hear a thing. I don't want to hear a single thing about the left being like, I wish the cops could have gotten there sooner. You don't even want them to exist. You literally don't want them to exist. So why? Why does it matter? You don't even like them. If we would quit defunding police, we would have more. We would be able to provide more salaries for more people who would like to become police. Unfortunately, there are bad apples in every group. But guess what? There's bad apples in everything. Oh my gosh. No way. Barack Obama tweeted, "As we grieve the children of Uvalde today, we should take time to recognize that 2 years have passed since the murder of George Floyd under the knee of a police officer. His killing stays with us to this day, especially those who loved him." I'm sorry. What? You made a school shooting about George Floyd? Are you kidding me? Are you I almost choked. Are you absolutely kidding me right now? We should take the time to recognize the 2 years that have passed since the murder of George Floyd. I can tell you right now this video is going to be fun to edit, but what in the heck? Can you guys tell I'm working on not cussing anymore? Thank you. Thanks for noticing. But, yeah, regarding that tweet, you've got to be freaking kidding me. Jack said, "Tell me it's the midterms without telling me it's the midterms." This one's going to be a rough one to read. Texas school gunman's victims were all in the same classroom. Loner killed 19 fourth graders and their teachers with guns he was able to buy legally on his 18th birthday, despite being known to police for rows with his drug-addicted mother. All of the kids killed in the shooting in Texas Tuesday were in the same classroom. 19 students died. Each of the victims, all aged under 11, were killed inside a single classroom, the Texas Department of Public Safety revealed Wednesday as authorities continued to assess the situation. My gosh. Included among the dead was an 8-year-old little boy whose grieving grandfather laminated was the sweetest little boy that I've ever known, and a 10-year-old girl who was killed as she tried to phone 911 while sitting next to her best friend, who ended up covered in her blood. Another victim was confirmed by Governor Greg Abbott to be the daughter of a local sheriff. And it was, of course, known that the shooter was familiar with police because of his violent arguments with his drug-addicted mother. Bad homes. Broken homes. Broken homes result in broken people. That's why these things happen. I've never cried on a stream before. I haven't. But I'm really close. I don't know how to pronounce this poor girl's name, but she's a 4th grader at Robb Elementary. It was one of the 19 students confirmed to be killed. Her grandmother said the 10-year-old tried to call 911 while sitting next to her best friend. She said the shooter told the students and staffers inside the room, "You're going to die," before opening fire, shooting her granddaughter as she tried to phone for help. It's sad. It is. It's really sad. And it'll make anybody angry, regardless of what political spectrum you fall on. I can't look at these anymore, though. I can't. It's heartbreaking. And there's bad people out there in the world. And unfortunately, you're not going to stop them with just a few laws. Yeah. Jack said God is angry because the people have failed. our people have failed God because nobody has Jesus anymore. The world rejects Jesus on a daily basis, and that's why there's so many people living in sin. That's why there's so many angry, selfish, depressed, sad, lonely people, is because they reject Jesus. I want to know why. I want to know what caused this, and now we can't know. And I want to say for a second, the majority of the time, I know that people get very angry when they try to get shooters out alive from these situations. Anybody, including the police officers, are going to want to go there and shoot them point blank in the head and end it. But like Nicholas Cruz, people were very, very angry that they brought him back in to the police station unharmed. And they do that so they can try to find a motive, and they can study said person on why they behaved this way, why they did this, why they made that choice. That is why. That is the only reason they do not actually just slaughter them right then and there. And I feel like that's something important for people to note, because that would just be kind of unjust to go in there, shoot them when you could grab them, maybe throw in a few punches, I don't know, beat them up a little bit for what they have just caused, and then bring them back to the station and be like, okay, dude, what in the world? Why did you do this? Now we'll never know. Why did the shooter Uvalde shoot up the school? That's not going to tell me anything, but we can try. Mental illness. We've already gone over all the answers. Broken families. That's the only answer. Men aren't men anymore. Sorry this was such a sad episode. I am going to end it here because I do have plans to go out. But I want to thank you guys for joining tonight's episode. If you want to join the Discord, feel free to. And tomorrow you can join because I will be out. Or no, I'll be here. What am I doing? Yeah, I'll be here because I have to drive home tomorrow for my doctor's appointment. But I will be going live tomorrow, and we will discuss even more stuff. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to join the Discord. Make sure to follow my Instagram. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Nick said it's not about the guns, it's about the intent to kill. Exactly. Criminals will kill. Bad people will kill. And that, you cannot stop them from doing that. If they don't have a gun, they'll use something else. Okay? Haven't responded